We got to talk about Jermell Charlo's performance, a master class in boxing. He did bang a little bit, but he chose when to bang. He chose when to set the tone of the fight. It all started with the jab. So Jermell Charlo stops Brian Castano in the 10th round. He stunned him with a left hook across the temple. He was throwing a combination though. And then the second time around, I think he jabbed him across the ring, and then caught him with a left hook to the body that put him down. That was it. But that's not the story at all. That's the end of the story. The real story is Jermell Charlo outboxed Brian Castano. He controlled the real estate and where he wanted the real estate with the jab and sticking and moving pretty much. Kind of like what Bebo did to Canelo Alvarez. While Castano started off in the beginning, started to counter the jab, Jermell made an adjustment in that he stepped around Castano and he was throwing 1-2s. The 1-2 would keep Castano from just countering the jab, and Castano needed to find range to get to that jab. So when Charlo was throwing the 1-2, Castano had to bring up his guard and block the 2. So Castano, of course, is a brilliant fighter, and I thought that Castano would counter Jermell's jab, neutralize his jab, lead with either hand, and catch him. But what I did not really realize is Castano needs to find a certain range to be able to do that. And Jermell took that away from him by respecting distance. If Castano took a step forward or lunged forward, Jermell took 2 steps back. And a number of other things, from the shuffling, side shuffling, and pivoting out so that he wouldn't be against the ropes. If his back touched the ropes, he would roll under Castano's hooks or shots or whatever it was, and then he would either clinch him and walk him to the center of the ring, or he would bump him with the shoulder and then use the forearm to push him off so that he could circle out to the center of the ring, or he would simply pivot to the center of the ring, or he would counterpunch Castano. Once Castano came into range, he would counterpunch Castano to the body, of course popping that jab, constantly popping that jab, different kinds of jabs. This was the Jermell I knew from before he went with Derrick James. So he went back to his boxing, and he was very tight, very sharp on his boxing. There were certain like hooks and stuff he threw that were a little bit wild. He did get countered once or twice by Castano, but for the most part, he was the one landing the body work. He was the one landing the body shots. He softened up Castano. He caught him with as Castano started to slow down, he started catching him with the 1-2. Not the 1, but the 2. He was catching him with the right hand off of the jab. Sometimes he popped him with the jab, and he actually stunned him with the jab a couple times. But for the most part, Brian Castano was actually, I turned the sound off so that I didn't have to hear the commentary. So I was watching the fight without sound. And that's when I saw how brilliant Jermell was in terms of controlling distance, how he was shuffling left and right, how he would bounce one way, then bounce the opposite way to throw off Castano and then get his shots off. He was, even though he was fighting off the back foot, he was the stronger guy. You could see him once he got into the clinch. He would move Castano. His shots were harder shots, and he kept on pot shotting Castano. He was basically picking him off as he was coming in, weakening him, mostly landing body shots. I love how he would do the jab to the head, bring Castano's guard up, and then he would jab to the body. And he was picking his shots. He really had enough time because he established range with the jab, and he was doing everything off the jab. So it was a master class of boxing. He was throwing certain particular combinations, particularly the left hook to the head was landing on Castano continuously through the fight. Even if Castano would put up his guard and protect it most of the time, it was landing, especially when Castano started to fatigue. He was throwing lovely combinations, digging to the body. Derrick James was kept on telling him to dig to the body, because this is how you tired out the opponent, slow him down. And he was digging to the body, both with the right hand to the left hand, but particularly the left hooks to the body, got Castano's attention. And ultimately, in the end, that's how he got stopped. And then he was also picking his shots, you know. And the 2 started to land off of the 1. Sometimes the jab would land, push Castano back. But Castano was still keeping the pressure on. Even on the inside, he was landing some really good combinations. He would basically kind of go in and out. What I mean by that is he's dipping and then he's moving back. dipping and moving back. And while he's dipping and moving back, Jermell Charlo will be throwing hooks and punches, but he tried to get under the punches of Castano. So you always, if he's throwing a hook or something, he's dipping down as he's throwing his hook. He wasn't trying to get caught with exchange of hooks. That'll make no sense. Castani's power didn't seem as effective as it was before in the first fight because Jermell Charlo took some of, went to the water basket, as they say, or he took some of the power out of his steam out of him by landing those body shots. And early, he attacked the body early. So Jermell kind of put into work. The first 4 rounds seemed a bit competitive. Castano was landing those counter rights and was coming in with the jab, and then he would hook to the body or set up a combination of shots on top and then hook to the body. But as the fight went on, it was not competitive at all. Jermell Charlo controlled range. He was smiling and everything because he realized Castano was slowing down, and he was just picking his shots. It was just a matter of time that one of those shots would break through and Castano would be tired and he would get put down. And it took to the 10th round for him to put down Castano with a right uppercut, left hook, I think it was, something like that. It was a shot to the body, one to the head. You have to go body to head. So he was mixing up his shots. Beautiful mix-up of shots, by the way, by Jermell Charlo. He was throwing combinations. It was beautiful. He put Castano down in the 10th. But Castano was hurt in the 9th as well. He was hurting with shots. He hit him with a tremendous right hand. I think twice he hit him with 2 tremendous right hands. It was a 1-2. Castano slipped the one, and then he was coming through, and he caught him with the shot as he was pulling out. Castano realized he was going to come with the 2, and he was pulling out and caught him with the 2 beautifully. Beautiful judge of distance, beautiful footwork. It was a masterclass in boxing, and then softened him up enough to take him out in the 10th. I could tell Jermell didn't know when he was going to stop him. He planned on going 12 rounds hard, but I know he knew that Castano was slowing down. When he caught him with the short left hook on the inside as Castano was pressuring him, and Castano went down with that, but it was a right uppercut left hook that caught Castano through the double guard, and then it came across with the left hook. But the left hook was landing all night. Castano was stunned. He really was stunned. He went down really hard. It caught him on the top of the head somewhere in the front. On this side, I think it is, or this side, I don't know. I think it's on the right side. Yeah, right side. In the front of it, and he went down with the shot. But I think it was the uppercut first that kind of set up it was a combination that Jermell had put together. And then after that, Castano was hurt. Jermell jumped right on him, didn't let him recover, threw a combination of punches. I remember, I think it was a jab that popped his head back, and he lined it up, threw a right, I think that was blocked, and then he hit him with the body shot, and the body shot, that was it. It did it. He doubled over. That was it. He wasn't coming back from that. So Jermell, beautiful work. This wasn't no flukes. This wasn't his power that bailed him out. None of that stuff. He boxed beautifully. He did the right things. And he got the victory over Castano. A guy I did not think he could get the victory over, but again, distance control. And once you establish distance by using the proper jab, I think the fight becomes easier. And even though the fight ended up being on the ropes and he was moving along the ropes mostly in the fight, it wasn't as much in the center of the ring as it was on the ropes. Jermell was dictating when this fight was going to take place. He wasn't letting Castano set. He would decide which side of the ring he was going to engage Castano in. He got to pick his shots because he was able to establish range and distance. Castano became hesitant to come in on the inside because he would get countered by Jermell. Jermell was throwing a lot of combinations to counter him, and he was the stronger guy in there for sure. But credit to Castano for taking the rematch. But Jermell was just a superior boxer. He was a superior fighter in there. Castano couldn't find the answers that he wanted to press the attack. And Jermell came out the victor. He is the first undisputed 4-belt champion. Made history there. He's definitely going to go into the Boxing Hall of Fame. He is right. He can only build on that legacy now. He is the man of 154, the undisputed champion. And, he earned the stripes. That first fight, though, with Castano, I thought Castano did better work. I thought Castano should have gotten the win. Jermell ran it back, and he rectified his errors, and he did very, very well. Now, against, what's the guy's name? Against, what's the guy name? The guy from Detroit, anyway. Um, I thought the first fight the guy won, and I thought the second fight the guy was winning. The middle rounds, I got dropped early by Jermell. Um, and in an exchange, he got hurt, and Jermell finished him. But in this one, he clearly outboxed Castano. He clearly outboxed him. Um, and Jermell is the guy. He's the guy of the division. It's been a long time in coming, but he's got it. He went in on the ESPN reporters and ESPN people, but basically he went back and he explained what happened. And just by detailing, you could see the man was intelligent. And I just looked at the boxing. The boxing was brilliant. I mean, I can't knock Jermell. He did his homework. He boxed well. He did the right things. I always thought he was an excellent boxer, and he showed it. This time he showed a master class. That was a master class in boxing against an aggressive counterpuncher who was also schooled, well schooled in boxing, and he got him out of there. And I thought he was really beautiful stealing the shots, those body shots. He started landing those body shots early, and I like that he didn't always put too much heat into his shots. Not everything you got to throw hard. And I like that. He was very sharp, but he first of all he started to test to see if the body shots would land, and then once he did, he started teeing off with those body shots in those exchanges. Not everything you got to put heat on, but what I like about what he said was he knew he could outlast Castano. He knew he could go the full 12, and so he was throwing. He was when he threw heat, he threw heat. Um, but the shot that really hurt Castano was the short shot that Castano didn't see. The left hook was landing all night, but the short shot and I think the body work softened up Castano. So Jermell, kudos to him. Uh, the seventh undisputed champion since the four belt era. Another super welterweight undisputed champion, falling off of Dimitri Bivol win over Canelo Alvarez. Same type of boxing again. So we saw Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. We saw Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez, and now we saw Jermell Charlo outbox Brian Castano. Brilliant work by Jermell Charlo. My hats off to you. You proved me wrong, which is good. I didn't believe that you could box that well anymore under Derek James, but you did. You actually did what you're supposed to do. You boxed very, very well. You showed your boxing IQs up there, and kudos to Jermell, man. Kudos to Jermell. I'm happy to eat crow. I think you deserve it. You were very hungry for it. You really wanted it, and you got it. So kudos to him. I look forward to his first defense at 154. I just hope that that sort of performance that you put on Brian Castano, you keep on maintaining it, keep that standard high, keep that hunger high, stay defending your titles and doing your thing, brother. Kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. Mad props to him. I did not listen to the commentary because it was way too biased. I couldn't take Jermell wasn't landing nothing early on, and they were saying I was landing body shots. I couldn't take that, so I turned the volume off. But you just Jermell Charlo deserves all the props in the world. I am glad to eat my crow on this one. Um, Showed outstanding boxing skills. I mean, the boxing skills and the footwork and the jab. Oh my God, beautiful to watch. How you dipped under those hooks and how you dipped out the punches and how you just pivoted out the way and just the beautiful timing and just so many different things you displayed. From the snapping back and swiveling. The bobbing and weaving and the rolling under punches. The dipping and the slipping and sliding inside, using the shoulder, just so many subtle things and so many beautiful things that, it's just like a boxing class. You could just sit down and just watch it and be like, oh, look what he's doing now. Look what he's doing now. He's just changing it up, changing it up. It's beautiful stuff. Big brother for life. Good morning, bro. It was an amazing fight yesterday. Man, the dude. I'm going to give Jermell his props. He made a couple of sloppy mistakes, but for the most part, masterclass in boxing. That was a masterclass, and he took him out too. Masterclass in boxing. I know he didn't know when he was going to take him out, but he knew he was fading, and he just kept on throwing those same combinations, the same combinations, but Beautiful boxing, man. He was slipping and sliding. He got hit with a couple shots. He went toe to toe with the guy just to show the guy, I'm tough. I'm gonna go toe to toe with you when I need to. You know what I'm saying? And if anything, you just slide in for the clinch or pivot around, or bump him with the shoulder and bump him off. Control him with the forearm, with the lead hand. Just beautiful lead hand work. I mean, the footwork was beautiful. I mean, that was a master class in boxing. You know what I mean? That was a master class in boxing. And that's the Jermell I know. That's the Jermell I know. Not just a power hungry Jermell, but a cerebral scientist. And he put on a master class in boxing. I'm not gonna lie. That was a master class. It made Castagna look one dimensional. Trying to get inside. Castagna was not a one dimensional fighter. He's very skilled. But Jermell just outskilled him. He outskilled him on this one. And looking forward to more with Jermell Charlo. He put all those skills. All his skills was on display. He showed everybody his whole catalog of skills, and smarts. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. He was sharp. He used to fight like this early in his career. Yeah. He was pretty. He was very, very pretty early in his career. I mean, it was pretty boxing, but yet at the same time, it was effective boxing. He stopped Castagna because he was doing the right stuff. He was breaking him down to the body. Went to the body from early. Controlled him with the jab. Popping that jab all the time. Controlled him with the jab. And Castagna generally can counter a jab, but he has to inch in. And he was inching in. Don't get me wrong. He's inching in early. And then Jermell made an adjustment in that he started, once he was inching in, he would inch out. And he would inch on a pivot. So, once he pivoted out, you can't get him up against the ropes. And whenever he was up against the ropes, he would either fall in, he would, roll under and fall in and clinch, or roll under and get under Castagna's punches, get under his punches, and then bump him with the shoulder and push him out to the, so he would put up his guard and push him out. It was real clean boxing, real good boxing. I mean, that if Jermell fight like this, man, there ain't nobody could beat Jermell because he got everything. He got the footwork, he got the inside boxing. I love his counterpunching on the inside, and his placement. And it was something. It was something. It was quite something to see. And again, you don't need to load up on everything. How he touched him with the jab up top, and then he stabbed him with the jab down below, really hard. Or how he even in the trades, he'd be blocking. And rolling. He's rolling while he's blocking. So he's roll this way, he roll that way while he's blocking. And he come back with a shot. The left hook would work. He come back with the left hook hard. But before he do that, he might set it up with he might touch him with the jab, then come with the left hook, just beautiful stuff. And pivoted nicely off the ropes. That left hook was nice to watch. Yeah, man, he was landing that all night. Castagna was strong at first, but when you misdirect him, see, he misdirected him with the uppercut. So Castagna was rocking with the uppercut. So he tried to get by the uppercut, ran right into the left hook. Short left hook, too. Because those short shots always get him. Yeah, and Castagna was out. And he didn't even get hit on the chin. He didn't get hit on the chin. He didn't get hit in the back of the temple. There's none of that. He got hit on the top of the head here. Right here. But it was just an odd spot where it probably buckled his neck and slammed his brain into his side. So, it was just an odd place. And I don't think Jermell Charlo thought he was going to knock him out with that shot. You just never know in boxing what knocks a guy down, right? He caught him with the shot. He just kept on doing the same things over and over. So even if this fight went to the scorecard, Jermell pretty much took most of the rounds anyway. But that knockout was beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to lie. He jumped on him right after that. He jumped right up on him, and he hit him with a left hook to the body. I know that had to hurt. That shit had to hurt. He opened him up top, so he caught him. I think he threw a 1-2. It was a 1-2-3 basically. He threw the jab. I don't know if it was a double jab. I can't remember. The jab popped Castagna's head back, and then he threw the right hand, and Castagna got his hands up to block the right hand, and then he came with the left hook to the body. Because his hands was up, so he wasn't trying to protect his body, and that was it. That was it. He got him. He got him good. Castano was already broken down with all those body punches. I mean, Castano was landing some body punches too, but it was few and far between. He couldn't really work like he wanted to work this time around. Jermell wouldn't let him set. Jermell wouldn't let him get into his game. He would not give him the range that he wanted. And when he gave him the range that he wanted to sit down and do things, he was counterpunching him pretty well. And again, he tired him out a bit to go into the body. So good work by Jermell. I mean, that's what we call boxing. That is boxing. It wasn't so much his power. It was his placement. It was the jab. It was that he wasn't letting Castano find the range that he wanted to really work at. And even when he did find that range to work at, he had a counter for him. Just like with Bivol versus Canelo. Same approach, same strategy, and it worked. So kudos to him on that, man. Kudos to him on that. I'm what you need. I'm going to catch you guys later. Smash the like button. Don't forget to do that. And you can also donate via my PayPal, which I will put up in the comment section. I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Salute. Peace.